Today I'm going to go over Zenless Zone Zero's lore teaser video, Where the Miracle Began. I'll go over what I think may actually be happening in it, the 4 AIs, the key terms, including a practically never-before-seen one, the 7 Void Hunters, and an interesting observation I made at the end. Each section will include all of the lore that I know about these things. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Two people hack into Internet, New Eridu's internet and cloud network, using Ghost, one of the 4 AIs. They seem to be speaking through some sort of transmitted audio. They then input a password or code phrase, the Here Lies Faith in thing, which grants them access to the database. And once they reach that, they use another AI, Yokai, to corrupt the firewall protecting the deeper part of the database, essentially launching a cyber attack. While they wait for Yokai to break down the firewall, they read through the database's surface files. These files have information on basic concepts, with incomplete and, let's be honest, propagandized details that paint New Eridu as having control over the Hollows. Once the corruption gets past the main part of the firewall, they immediately access the primary index, which holds several key terms regarding New Eridu's factions and various roles. The man closes the index as they're not there to mess around. He has Fairy search for preset keywords, which are like tags in logging systems that allow people to find relevant files more quickly and easily. The result is Killjoy, which, when entered by the woman, pulls up an index titled The City Defenders. It's about a catastrophe from a long while ago that led to Eridu's founding, as well as key individuals who helped found the city and prevent the catastrophe from ending the world, essentially. There are 6 heroes in the deep database, some of which the hackers recognize. However, it isn't until Yokai completely finishes corrupting the firewall that they gain access to the most deeply guarded information, the 7th hero, an enigmatic figure who is thought to be in the center of Hollow Zero. After uncovering that final info, they decide that they will upload their data package to the database. This seems to be the 4 AIs, which are called keys in the game's prologue, and a key, in computing, is indeed data. It allows one to encrypt info, or decrypt it with the correct key. The keys must be awakened in order to function at their full potential, presumably by other special people. And in the meantime, they are to be kept extremely secure, as they all have the power to change New Eridu.
You 4 behave now and wait for someone who can awaken you. Then together, that's when we'll make New Eridu.
The license agreement has been signed. I am happy to be of service. Together, we will make New Eridu.
What a surprise! One of the keys has already been activated.
Oh, really? Which one? Ghost? Ginny? Yokai?
No, it's Fairy.
Ooh, things are about to get interesting.
Now, since we're already here, let's quickly go over the AIs. Ghost hacks, Ginny uploads, Yokai corrupts, and Fairy searches. All 4 are named after morally ambiguous or capricious spirits or supernatural beings with generally negative associations, except for Fairy, likely for practical and, plot reasons. So ghosts, as a refresher, are spirits of the departed who linger in the mortal realm due to some attachment or unfulfilled desire. Ginny is the singular term for jinn, also anglicized as genies, though their original meaning varies vastly from the Western idea of a genie. Jinn are beings in Islamic folklore that dwell in an unseen shadow realm, influencing human behaviors in positive, neutral, or negative ways. The yokai of Japanese folklore encompasses an extremely wide range of definitions. They can be supernatural entities or personifications of supernatural phenomena. And lastly, the fairies, or fae, of Irish folklore are magical creatures that hide from humans and can either be benevolent or, more commonly, mischievous tricksters. I also want to note that yokai is strange in this video, as at the end, it flashes between saying that yokai is offline and upload initiated. So, now on to the key terms in the primary index. After translating them, a total of 9 terms were present. In order from the most to least commonly occurring, these were the fall of the old capital, Helios Academy, White Star Institute, Rosetta Data, Hollow Raider, Cylons, Proxy, Tops, and the Founding Family. The most interesting one to me was Cylons, which doesn't show up anywhere in English, and is present in no other Zenless Zone Zero content whatsoever. It was translated from Chinese, but trust me, it seems to literally be Cylons. Now, this is a real term in the StarCraft/Battlestar Galactica franchise. The meaning and history behind the term is vast and extremely complicated, but from all my research, it may be a term for the Silver Squad or other synthetic humans in Zenless Zone Zero. In Battlestar Galactica, Cylons were first created by a man named Daniel Greystone at the request of the military. Later, Cylons evolved from being basically automatons with skin overlaid and became artificial humans, with certain models being mass-produced as clones. Next, the Void Hunters are, in order, Swordmaster, Lady Sunbringer, Joyous, Colonel Vike, Lieutenant Colonel Dan of the Guard of Staves, and the leader of the Falkenhayn mercenary troop. And lastly, Professor Arche. First, Swordmaster was the 3rd generation head of the Hoshimi family. Miyabi will become the 11th, making Swordmaster her 5th great-grandmother. She seems to have taken down a massive horde of ethereals in this video, similar to Miyabi in her character teaser. Swordmaster also took down the Exaltus Overseer at that time. In this shot, we can see countless ethereals strewn across the ground, as well as enormous ones in the distance that resemble some ethereals we know of. She's wielding Tailless, seemingly at full power, as behind her emanate 9 tails. She may have control over this though, as her hair and the tails both remain black, whereas in Miyabi's EP, her ancestors wielding Tailless, their hair turns white. Also, Miyabi's ancestors in the Sword's Illusion say that she is the 2nd most stubborn person they have ever known, with Swordmaster implied to be the 1st. The 2 of them appear to be on another level in the Hoshimi bloodline. Now, we know the most about Lady Sunbringer and Joyous, as their achievements were crucial in the actual founding of the city as a haven for humanity. Lady Sunbringer eradicated the Hive Lord Hollow in the sky. It presumably blocked out the sun, earning her the moniker of Sunbringer. She's responsible for the creation of Bangbu, and was the former CEO of Marcel Group. This group also released a game of Ina Chess Legend, which was rumored to contain Easter eggs about her. Something worthy of note is from a quality time invite with Seed. Although her understanding of the Bangbu language is questionable, to say the least. She states that Lady Sunbringer is secretly the commander of the Phantom Bangbu Brigade. Next, Joyous was the ace of the Investigation Guild. He started what we now know as the HIA, or Hollow Investigative Association. The woman in the teaser says the following line.
Does he count as the predecessor of investigators or proxies, I wonder?
Potentially suggesting a relation to Bell and Wise. Joyous was the first person to ever successfully navigate out of a hollow, emerging with the very first carrot as a result. He specifically went into Papago Hollow, referred to as the Divine Maze, alongside the first Bangbu prototype made by Sunbringer. Also, the reason they're called carrots is actually because Sunbringer designed them after rabbits. He was also considered to be as powerful as the One by what is basically an ex-Hollow investigator who was referencing Neo and the Matrix. Additionally, he was implied to be a trailblazer. And lastly, he might be an older brother to someone. Yet another parallel to Wise. See, the Papago Hollow was named after the outdated name of a Native American nation now known as the Thanawtham people. I'm not a member of this nation myself, so my info comes from the following sources. Their primary creator deity is Ithoi, given the title Elder Brother. He resides in a winding cave and is depicted on arts and crafts as standing at the entrance to a labyrinth, leading many to call him the Man in the Maze. And to quote a woman named Alfreda Antone, "When you reach the middle of the maze, that's when you see the sun god. The sun god blesses you and says that you have made it. That's where you pass on. The maze is a symbol of life. It shows happiness, sadness, and reaching your goals. Your dream is in the middle of the maze." There's also this very curious set of lines from Bell and Wise, depending on who you pick, about the mirage moon and the sun falling into the hollow. Next, Vike and Dan are presumably part of that era's defense force. Vike's role is colonel, and Dan is right below her as lieutenant colonel. And for reference, Isolde was a colonel at the very end. The Guard of Staves is an unknown group, but the word stave is unique. In the Bible, a stave can be used as a weapon, but more commonly, it's used to perform miracles. The word itself roughly means staff or plank, so it's most likely the weapon that Dan is holding. Next is the leader of the Falkenhayn mercenary troop. The word Falkenhayn likely comes from German, where Falken means falcon, and Hain means grove or enclosure. So that's Falkenhayn, falcon enclosure. She appears to be an XP of Elysia from Honkai Impact 3rd, especially with the romantic and angelic imagery. Literal angel wings, and what resembles a wedding veil with 2 roses on the ends of it. Since she's on the thumbnail of the video, titled Where the Miracle Began, she's likely a very important character. In fact, it's very reminiscent of Honkai Star Rail's Emphorius storyline, where the Elysia XP of that game turns out to have been where the miracle of Genesis began. It's possible that this character was instrumental in the founding of Eridu. And personally, I theorize that the woman speaking in the video is this character, and the man is from the Mayflower family. He appears to have the same voice actor as the in-game mayor, and the first mayor of Eridu is quoted in the video's description. The other reason I think the woman might be this character is because when the man asks her to comment on it, she says, "No need," and then moves on immediately. And finally, the enigmatic Professor Arche. Professor Arche founded Helios Academy, where Bell and Wise used to live. They discovered the common characteristics of Hollows, proposed the idea of the HDD system, and entered Hollow Zero some time back to search for the truth. Arche is special among the Void Hunters, shown in several ways. The information on them only surfaces after Yokai has completely corrupted the firewall, meaning that, again, it's the most protected information. Their intro is unique, covered in flames, and they themselves are made of what I see as being etheric flames. Unlike the other Void Hunters, Arche is neither blue nor red. They are purple. And overall, they're portrayed as being, by far, the most mysterious Void Hunter. Additionally, in the Ina Chess Legend event, a Bangbu alludes to some history related to the Void Hunters. It mentions one Grand Elder who oversaw all 6 of the other Elders and never showed their face. There's a theme in the game and in this video of getting closer to the truth. I connected this truth theme before it became blatant in the game, and it turns out this also fits perfectly with this video and its description. It seems that the truth lies at the center of Hollow Zero, and that is where multiple people are headed in search for it. Because it's the center of Hollow Zero, it's the most heavily guarded information. The closer people get, the worse the Hollows might get, as a sort of defense mechanism. After the people in this video gain access to the database, it shows Hollow Zero expanding. Then, at this part of the video, a hollow descends in the sky toward Zero on Earth, and both of those two hollows and Zero's companion hollows increase in size. Additionally, in the Yidhari-centered event where dreams remain unfinished, her subconscious mind spawns more ethereals within her dream as they get closer to uncovering the truth about her past. And the other theme is mist. Anything unknown is shrouded in mist. This is probably tied to the Sea of Ether. And they're not diving straight into the ocean, but stepping into a haze. Notice how Arche is surrounding by swirling mist, for instance. Also, I wrote all of that before getting the clip I'm about to show you, and the similarities are insane.
Lies. Deception. Betrayal. I see swirling mist, shrouding the truth in a deep, enigmatic haze. Found you. Chosen one.
So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video revealed some new insights for you. Goodbye, and have a nice day.